I really enjoyed was working on a team, working towards a common goal. And so that's where I made the transition from academia to consulting. I was recruited into Celgene to build a small but mighty team of market access analytics, which back in that time, that was a pretty new concept to have an analytics team focused on market access. I really jumped from Celgene, Bayer, Pfizer, Boehringer Ingelheim, and then more recently, I was at some smaller pharmaceutical companies that again allowed me to really truly roll up my sleeves in a very different way, but then also be really at the cutting edge of kind of when decisions were being made. I think what drew me to academia initially is probably what ended up drawing me to analytics and more strategic commercial avenues, if you will. One thing I realized in academics is I loved basically answering questions. I loved getting a problem and then breaking it down into little pieces and answering those pieces and then putting it all back together and creating that story. You don't do AI. AI is a tool. It's something that you can use and leverage to get to where you want to get to. The reality is that in pharma, we've had very few sustainable, repeatable, successful use cases where we can point to that and say, you know what, that's a method that we can definitely use artificial intelligence. People keep talking about artificial intelligence. And I think what I always encourage my teams to think about is, what is the actual question you're trying to solve? What's the goal you're trying to achieve? And then can you use a tool like artificial intelligence or machine learning or natural language processing to help you get there fast? You still need to have a really strong grounding of your own baseline knowledge in order to know when you're leveraging AI, if it's giving you something that's really, truly useful versus it's giving you something that sounds good. In order to really begin to think about having a really successful model powered by AI, you absolutely need to have a very solid foundation of data. The truly talented analysts that I've met are the ones that can translate that back office work into front office presentations. When you're in the pharmaceutical industry, the patient is at the center of everything you do. And I think that's a very unique place for us to be in from an industry standpoint. And so we should cherish that and remind people of that. And that should be the reason why people want to come and work for us and work with us. Now, the way the world has really evolved is we need to have more prospective, more predictive analysis. And I think that's really probably, in a nutshell, the best way I can describe how the industry and our expectations within the industry have really evolved over the past 10 years. We want to know the likelihood of something happening before it happens. To me, a true data-driven organization is one where it's really, take it in 3 steps. The first is there is a true appreciation of the information that we have on hand. Then the second part is there should be some level of systematic review of kind of what that information is. The third is a truly data-driven organization is one where it comes from the leadership, that the leadership really has to embrace evidence, be curious, continue to ask questions. Like, don't ever feel like a question you're asking is a dumb question. 8 out of 10 times, I will find that it's a question that everybody else wanted to ask but didn't have the guts to ask.